Casting a shadow over all of sports, it's huge. Sportsblimp.
A week of sports in a minute.
With Will Regan and Eric Randall.
Hey everyone, it's Will Regan here in the Sportsblimp headquarters in Beloit, Wisconsin with a week's worth of sports in a minute. With me as always is our stalwart sports enthusiast and historian and all-around expert on the wild and wonderful world of sports, Eric Rantman.
Well, thanks, Will, for that big $5 introduction. It's good to be with you as always. So what's our headline story this week?
So that's the end of the banter? I got a note from the producer. It says more banter. I know I can't banter with Hal because he flies the blimp, so I'm looking at you, Rant Man.
Well, I can banter if you want.
Well, the moment's kind of passed, I guess, don't you think?
I can banter. Banter.
Anyway, moving right along, the top story of the week has to be from Swishball. It's the signing of pitcher Weston Route.
By the Oshkosh Overlanders. Yeah, the O's have been looking for a power starter for many months now.
The guy who can toss it in there at 210 or so.
And he's got a great move to the ground. That guy can duck.
He hits the ground like a wet piece of sod and lays just as flat. But I'm wondering what finally convinced him to make the move? Come out of retirement and get back in the game.
Well, word is he was broke, and that signing bonus really tipped the scale.
I think he got a car, right? An SUV?
Well, he'll get the use of the team van anytime it's not being used for the team.
Well, good for Wes. He's back on the sod, and we're looking forward to great things from him.
Let's stick to Swishball now and bring everyone up to date on scores in this first week of the season.
Last year's pick for the league trophy got off to a good start. The Ashwaubenon Antlers bested the Minnesota Miners 32.6 to 67.
You know, my 6-year-old son, who's a very promising child, asked me, "Daddy, why does the team with the higher score lose?" I told him it's kind of like golf.
Golf? Well, now that you mention it, actually, the ball is just as small. It's the same size, right?
It just doesn't have those little dimples in it.
Imagine that, folks, a golf ball without the dimples. Is that what they call them?
Yes.
Well, the Miners got off to a bad start last season, if you remember.
During the mid-game restroom and snack break, the folks from the Minnetonka Air Show entertained, kind of a promo, for their regular air show in the summer.
One of the biplanes swooped in, like they do.
Very exciting.
A little too low, though, I guess.
The landing gear kind of snagged the mayor's toque, like an eagle snatching a rodent out of the woods and carrying it off to feed its young.
A sad little gray go flying off into the smoke-filled sky.
The fireworks show had just ended, and they were still putting out the fires.
Well, Mayor Bloomer went off like a Roman candle. But little did he know that was part of the stunt. I mean, come on. These guys are pros. What are the odds they swoop low enough to catch a guy's toupee without committing vehicular manslaughter?
I can't really blame him. It's dangerous. I mean, what if he'd been holding a beer?
Unbelievable. I always say to guys with hairpieces, if you're going to an air show, 1, wear a cap, and 2, don't stand up during a flyover.
Before we get to a week's worth of sports in a minute, here's a word from one of our loyal sponsors, the Locksmith Academy of Fond du Lac.
At the Locksmith Academy of Fond du Lac, you can unlock your future with an improved curriculum that will earn you a master lock degree and a 30% discount at the Auto Club. Of course, you won't need the Auto Club because you'll never be locked your car again. This comprehensive 3-year program includes lessons in front door locks, side door locks, back door locks, and an expanded course in sliding doors. At the Locksmith Academy at Fond du Lac, you'll be taught by the best, seasoned experts in safe cracking, combination lock reading, and explosives. You'll learn what to wear when working at a bank, credit union, or savings and loan. You'll learn security protocol, what to do if a police officer shows up while you're defeating a backdoor lock, what to say if your brother-in-law approaches you about partnering in a life of crime. It's all there, a whole new life. The Locksmith Academy of Fond du Lac. You've got a lock on your future. We'll help you open it. Ask about our Felony Forgiveness Scholarship Program.
Well, let's turn now to figure 8 bicycle racing, and one of the key team players, Von Schlepp of Australia.
That's in Down Under, right?
And they're here on a sports visa to compete with an American team. Their visas have been suspended, though. One of their players couldn't tell his name or where he lives or much else.
That would be Von Schlepp, who was injured in another terrible accident at the Figure 8 intersect. He's out of the hospital, but still won't let go of the handlebars.
Well, let's bring in our sports psychologist, Dr. Brett Menschberger, with 2 convenient offices in Beloit.
Dr. Menschberger, you've worked with athletes for years now to solve their little hang-ups and phobias.
Well, Dr. Brett, can you give us some examples of how you've helped athletes?
Sure, be glad to. One of our local league bowlers, played in the Whispering Springs Motel employees team, has made some good progress in overcoming her fear of the holes in the bowling ball. She thought once she put her fingers into that ball, she would never get them back.
I can understand that. If those holes are too tight, you can lose your fingers on any given throw. In fact, I've had the same fear that she does.
Doctor, real quick, I play miniature golf, and I'm afraid of the giant dragon who opens his mouth on the 18th hole. What can I do to conquer that dragon?
Well, the dragon is not on the 18th hole. It's actually inside you, Will. But, tell you what, go ahead and make an appointment with Nancy, my receptionist, and with regular sessions, we can conquer that dragon within a year.
Wow. Okay.
Perfect. Dr. Brett Menschberger, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a week's worth of sports in a minute continues after the word from one of our loyal sponsors, Gut Busters, all-you-can-eat game day snack buffet in the Madison Mall.
Nothing says sports like snacks. You're watching your favorite squat ball team on TV. You don't want Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and string beans. You want nachos, chicken wings, and plenty of beer. Am I right? Well, at Gutbusters Buffet, you got it. Nothing but sports snacks. They've got the 3 C's, chili dogs, corn dogs, and cheese on everything. All the food groups, chips, salsa, and suds, plus our famous Gutbusters Buffet guacamole fountain. Just hold your tortilla chip under that and, wait for it, there you go. And try on their brand new Big Brew headgear. It's a player helmet with your favorite team logo. It holds 2.5 liters of your favorite draft beer and feeds it to you through a tube built into your face mask. So when it's game day, think Gutbusters all-you-can-eat game day snack buffet with plenty of wide screens and extra wide chairs too. We'll see you at the Madison Mall.
Well, now let's profile a player with our exclusive Player Profile, made possible by our friends at Party Jumps in Greater Moberly, Missouri. Try their new steam-powered catapult, Big Blaster. It leaves kids speechless. Be sure to wear your bike helmet.
Today, it's Vladimir Von Rays from the Festus Fighters. Festus, Missouri awarded the newest expansion franchise in the National Squat Ball League.
Latimer Von Rays was born without common sense. Due mostly to the fortitude of his parents, Latimer was able to adjust and make his way through school. But hard as he tried, he could not resist his natural urge to play squat ball. His first coach in high school was impressed with his willingness to do anything to make the team. Even Latimer is without memory of his stunt due to a profound head injury. The coach recalls it in vivid detail. Young Latimer was so determined to get noticed, he came to the tryouts in the team mascot's costume. Dressed as an alligator, young Latimer found it challenging to run at full speed. But in the coach's eyes, Latimer's defensive skills more than made up for it, biting into players' calves. And it could be worth noting that to this day, Von Rays washes that costume after every game.
He is a credit to the sport and still practices exemplary personal hygiene.
Speaking of sports history, it's time to quiz our listeners, see if we can give away a pair of tickets to this weekend's big game in Peoria. Exciting whiz-ball action. It'll be the Texas Two-Timers against the Boomerangs of Belleville, Illinois.
They keep coming back.
Obvious,
Yeah, I know.
but that's really their slogan.
I've got one of their bumper stickers.
They keep coming back.
Okay, today's quiz question. Who was the first player to be drafted into the pros from a truck driving school? Just send your answer to sportsblimp@gmail.com.
Before we wrap it up, let's look ahead to next time. The Sportsblimp will be positioned over Winchester, Nevada, for America's summertime pastime whizball, or as they say in the UK, pitch and duck.
The top Major League whizball story has to be Clyde Never Say Die Cleaver.
He died.
Yes, he did. At the top of the 7th tick during last Tuesday's game against the Pandas. Just tipped over and that was that. He was pronounced out by the official at second.
Well, you can't fall to the ground after taking a base like that. You're out.
He's dead at second.
Memorial services will be held next week at his hometown of Bismarck.
Clyde Cleaver was the oldest player on the team and maybe in all of professional sports. He would never say how old he was. It was kind of a running joke. One player, who will remain nameless, counted rings on Clyde's neck when he dozed off in the dugout, which he would do quite often.
But he was here year after year. My grandfather talked about watching Never Say Die when he was a kid. Of course, now they'll be able to tell how old he was.
How will that happen exactly?
The autopsy.
I don't know that they can tell exact age from an autopsy. Besides, I don't think they do an autopsy unless there are suspicious circumstances.
Well, it's pretty suspicious slumping to your death at second like that.
Well, the man must have been 100 years old.
So you knew all along how old he was.
He was a fixture in whizball and will miss his singing in the dugout and chewing a bunch of sunflower seeds and spitting them out along with his teeth.
Clyde Never Say Die Cleaver, dead at second.
Well, that's all the time we have for a week worth of sports in a minute.
Next week, we'll have sports action for you. It'll be the Peoria Pandas and those Winchester Rifles from Winchester, Nevada, without Clyde Never Say Die Cleaver, live from Pot of Gold House of Craps, Casino Park in Nevada.
Until then, this is Will Regan along with Eric Rantman wishing you more than a sporting chance
on the Sportsblimp All Sports Network. Sportsblimp is produced and distributed with a grant from the Goodyear Dirigible Company in Bucyrus, Ohio. Many of America's other favorite sports are played in the shadow of Sportsblimp.